Okay. Manners respect people. Manners respect people. How wanna do? So nice and quiet them time of morning, yeah, in people. Just perfect time for we conversate about certain things when nobody not there around. Yeah, when people not there around, we can just conversate. And we don't have to worry about interruption. And people are tell you say, I know so it go. In people, we can't roll them ways there. We have to roll the right way, people. We always have to roll the right way. Not true. Not true. It's Yellow Month, people. It's what do you have to share? I'm telling you, some have my delicious sauce them for share, so I can always do the right thing and just add a couple buckle. I try to ship it got people I say it already, I try ship my sauce got England and England I say they gonna charge me almost $83 for ship a buckle of sauce got England. I don't know how England expect me to make $1. But England don't care if you want to make $1. England don't care if you want to make 50 cents. That's not England's business. England business is to make $1 trillion and you make nothing. So people me tell you say my website I have issue with my website because of them people the shop all of the stuff them I'm set up on the website. I find out so the people them are some real snake. And I really touch them till me ready for touch them because I'm gonna put everything together. And I know how long it gonna take, but I don't want to spend a whole heap of a thing. I just have to put it out there so them people are some criminal. See if I can get the United States on them case to shut down the organization wherever they make it from. If I if I America or if them I use internet. I have too much criminal out there, people. Them just have too much criminal out there. Imagine me have my own legitimate business I try to make $1. I mean I look for rob and thief nobody. I mean I get support. Meanwhile them are criminal here. Them are criminal here I get 2, 3, 4, 5, $6 million. Where people get money for get criminals so. Eh? We wanna get so much money if you give people 100,000, 300,000, 500,000. We don't have money for give people for sweepstake where we never enter. We don't never enter we don't never write no name for one bulla. But people calling and telling us how to win money. And the people them must say, all right, send 500,000, send 200,000, send 300,000. I not just a send the money. And then when I come back later and say, boy, you know, so me send the money and me never get nothing back. Me keep on saying, if you don't have that money for send, you no can't come. You see, if you don't never have the money for send, we no get the money for send. Where did you guys get that much? This man a come call me about visa. Me tell the man say me nah no visa. The man still there on the phone a chat crap in my ears. People, if you a try scam me and the scam no work out, you no fi go along about on business. You hear me I say? When you guys call people and on scam no work, nobody not interested in buying nothing from uno. Or me no put me never enter the only thing me went enter in a the chef same thing and me no win nothing. They never call me and tell me say me come 38 or 48. And that's the same thing me me enter in. So somebody will call me and tell me say me win something when me never enter in and and plus me fi send money. You much something people tell me say, oh, send PayPal. Oh, I sent you $500,000. And them big up money are just exaggeration money when me I use. But them say fi send $10,000, me fi send $350 to clear it. My thing is, why you not take out the $350 out of it and use that clear it? How you can send me so much money and you can send the covering fee? All of them things here. And there's so much scams. There's so much different. Them send you one text message and say deposit this money in your bank account. Soon as you deposit in your bank account empty. I have a tracking thing where purely at not American postal service send we fill out and them deliver the package. Fill it out, compromise my account because I want scam. So all of them scams internet, all of them people that in them scam, all of them people that in the office, them are the thief. Most of them something are inside job. These people are some criminals. Most of these people are some, what me say? That's why I send karma out to all of uno. This is what me, and the same thing I tell them people up on the phone. And eventually them are gonna call and tell me say please call off karma. But the same time send out karma for uno people, it's not coming back, you know. Cause karma now go knock on uno door and say, oops, me have the wrong address. Any door karma knock on that are the right door. So all of uno people out there where I do so much wrong against other people and I don't know nothing. All I wanna were all upon victims, right? All of the people them all upon people like say them are victim. Karma a come for uno. And I no can deny karma. And karma not deny uno. I say, uno go and laugh and enjoy ripping off people, man. Robbing people, put people in a bad situation. Karma is coming for each and every one of uno. The number them I tell us I go text them tomorrow and I go send them this live what me do. I uno me attack, uno criminal people. There is no hell for you guys. Uno na go hell. Me say karma a come for uno. And which part uno go, uno na go like it. Because there's people who's gonna be happy in hell anyways. Because them are the devil. So enough time uno not me. I wish people figure hell. Hell I go fit some of them. Cause if them a do that on earth, them just a practice fi go this I go do worse. So good for uno. A yellow month I'm telling you say a karma me a share with you know. Cause some of the people is too destructive, too greedy, selfish. At time karma start work on uno. A time when I get on a just reward, time when I get on a sandwich, cut up in a nice equal slices. Alright people, so we're there upon a late night reasoning, calm and quiet and no this the channel where this I wanna come from people is Through Black Eyes. It's called Through Black Eyes Unfiltered. Right. Subscribe to them channel already. Turn us to the things that I put in at the algorithm, right? Are things that educate me. I delete one channel at a time and replace it to something good. And I say, and I like say, a channel them when me delete, them people there, I gonna miss me anyways. Plus, it just a take for them same thing what my algorithm, cause if me not watch them channel, it no make no sense them bombard me with the CMO. So I just, you know, I not delete everybody, me just a delete one and two of them so keep the for them same thing done and more, you know, positive and uplifting things in my feed. To feed my brain. Alright people, so this a story now is the untold story of Rosewood. I remember say Rosewood move. Remember say we did them did have but me tell you sometime them people when them people want make money man, them just slap on a number. Slap on a meaning to a number and them sell. You see Bob Marley movie a break record and make pure billions and trillions of dollars same way. Because them people know if you market and sell to it for a long time, Brand out to backside. That we love. Spend enough money on senseless things. Well, anyways, I tell you, say, I watch Rosewood one time when the Rosewood movie come out, enough black culture movie did that come out. Me think say them did that go do, a continuous series pan them things there, but it's like say the people them start get too conscious and then they say, all right, stop. Draw back them type of movie, Let's make more hate and despise movie. People me tell you say I've always felt some of them on this it's not real thing. Like yes, we exist and everything else. If you ever watch a Truman show, right? The Truman show everything is make believe and then just him just a living of the movie. And long before the Truman Show, as some always feel say, oh things always never feel like say it's according to how it's supposed to be. Never. It just seems like say things are always off. You know? So when all of them conscious movie did that come out and everything, it's either that or they make enough money off of the conscious movie and then say, alright, if we can make enough money off of the conscious movie, make we go and make some crappy movie and still make a profit without the you walk, that then call it. Tell say the people make all kind of idiot name. Well, yes, idiot name. And cap. You capping. What's you capping mean? It means you talk loud or it means you're lying. Like why we not have to change up the word them when the word them is the word them? If we not go change up, just stop speak the English language, create a brand new different language, right? Instead of I use the same language and just make up things where we don't have already. Complicated thinking, overthinking some things that's basic communication. Me no know people. I'm telling you, this human thing is a human thing. And human thing don't make sense all the time. It doesn't. So Rosewood are one of the city them, what you call it, community that they that do good in the states. I'm gonna tell you, say, anytime we are do good by ourselves, somebody bad always come along. And usually the person who bad will come along is usually the same person. Right? So when I watch Rosewood story, it was it just get me upset for no say. Every time people are mind them own business, people always come along and I say, you see what you do, we don't like it. The same thing with the Ashanti tribe or the people and come and the people and say they want them, then we want what you have and we not stop till no matter how much people dead for you, no matter how much people dead for you. We just have this thirst we have what other people have. We have a desire for what everybody else have because we don't have nothing except money. So we don't just keep on money. If if we don't have so much money, we don't need gold. Why we don't need gold if we don't have money? If we don't have so much money, there's no way gold mean anything to uno because as much gold there is, we don't have more money. And we don't have enough money more than diamonds. Isn't that a one weird thing, you know? That's the weirdest. That are the how is it to not have everything but to not still want something where you can't have? Why is it not desire this so it's so dark? Why is every move like the devil? Why everything is destruction? Why is everything against life? Why is everything against existence? I'm gonna watch Rosewood and see how Rosewood story is past, present, and future unless we change it. Past, present, future are the same unless we change it. I'm gonna tell you how some of the time them people are lying up. I'm work a place and people are lying up blouse and skirt. People lie for no reason. Thief. Every time I have to fight them people upon my paycheck them. I don't think so on a situation different from how it was before in the past. It's not at the same right through history. Anyways, people, I could proceed. So let them people go and talk here, sir. Come tell you say I just come here to chill with AI, cause you don't know. See AI up with me already. AI now leave me alone, I'm tell you that. AI, I'm tell you something, I need my video them to go up. I need to watch how I need subscribers them. So AI, you have to help me with that. You know the thing go already. When I reach 100,000, then you can start shadow ban me and them things, alright AI? But for now, just make the thing run. As we proceed, people. So, alright, I'm telling you where it come from. And these, one of them is a doctor. Well, you know, I'm gonna let hear them talk anyway. So as we proceed.
Language expressed during this episode may be deemed offensive. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, all right. Offensive to all people. The truth, you know. Them are the truth, you know, people. And you same time them put out the music them with the be this and the be that and the hold this and the hold that and the end this and the end that and the box up this and the box up. Them they not get no discretion, you know. But the truth, absolute truth that all them people are evil. And people are evil. I'm trying to say most of the things are just the past. People I'm telling them I realize them things because some of the things that I live in my life. How the hell me can get up every day and I fight against the people them? You know, my same skin color and them I go through the same situation. As we proceed with viewers' discretion, yes, people, don't listen to the truth. Okay? This is not the things I'm want to listen to and learn from.
Viewer discretion is advised.
My name is Dr. Raymond Dunn, and I will serve as your host. Today's episode is on rosewood. I would like to introduce to you Dr. Marvin Dunn. Dr. Dunn is a psychologist, he's a community activist, an author. Dr. Dunn is a Florida historian and
Okay, people, and that my try show you the people that may bring on a pure big brain people that may have more brains than me. Alright? Me just highlight them things here because I'm telling you how important them things are for highlight and stop highlight foolishness as we proceed.
welcome, Dr. Dunn. Thank you. Rosewood. Yes. A story that's been told, what, almost 100 years now? Almost 100 years we've been talking about rosewood. Dr. Dunn has done extensive research on rosewood to the extent that I think he is probably, in my opinion, the only known expert on rosewood. But a lot of people don't know about rosewood. Dr. Dunn, tell the story.
Yeah, people. You see, it's been around 100 years. Enough people don't know about rosewood. Eh? It's been around over 100 years when them burn down rosewood, right? Run after people them. As we proceed, people.
Expert on rosewood. But a lot of people don't know about rosewood. Dr. Dunn, tell the story. Well, the rosewood story.
Let's begin with where Rosewood is.
Good.
Rosewood, Florida is directly west of Gainesville. About 35 or 40 miles directly west of Gainesville on Highway 24.
Okay.
And if you keep beyond Rosewood for 9 miles, you hit the Gulf of Mexico. Okay. Just right before you hit the Gulf, 9 miles in, about a little less than 40 miles due west of Gainesville.
So we could call that basically North Florida.
It is North Florida.
Okay. Okay. So tell us a little bit about Rosewood. And we know that there was a massacre there, but tell us what it was like in the earlier days of Rosewood.
Well, Rosewood,
Before that
sure. Rosewood is named after the cypress trees that grew.
Cypress trees. I may never know that. Cypress trees. So them used to make thing there. Furniture and them thing there from that from the cypress trees. And tell some people enough of them things that again I'm aware of the story, but I don't know the story. Right? I watched the movie, but me never know the details of what went on as we proceed.
Well, before that.
Sure. Rosewood is named after the cypress trees that grew in that area. These are massive trees, some of them a couple thousand years old, and the wood is rose colored.
Okay.
Our Aunt Nora had a chest made.
I
from
remember
rosewood.
that.
That's a rosewood
I
chest.
remember that.
Very valuable wood.
Mhm.
So after the Civil War, some white people with some black workers went to that area and began harvesting these cypress trees
Oh, okay.
and selling the wood because they could ship the wood right out of the Gulf of Mexico to northern markets. And that was a very profitable way of making a living after the Civil War.
Okay.
It attracted both white and black workers. But once the cypress trees were harvested out, the white folks left for the most part, almost all of them, moved to an area known as La Cucha, Florida.
Okay.
And then folks started growing slash pine trees, commercial pine trees, to sell that timber.
Okay.
So
Okay, so you see, even from back then, they must sell them Christmas. Even from back then, them must sell a Christmas tree. So the Christmas tradition they run for a very long time, and they will make money off of Christmas for a very long time. Period. As we proceed.
wood developed as a place after the Civil War and after the cypress was harvested out as a place to acquire wood. As a matter of fact, before the cypress trees were harvested out, about 80% of the pencils that were sold in this country came from rosewood markets that was shipped,
Pencils.
shipped out of
Okay. So
Florida to New York.
So that was a very vibrant business going on there.
It was indeed. It
Okay.
was indeed.
And what percentage of the population was black around that time?
A very large percentage, because this was a kind of industry that required a lot of labor.
Okay.
So you had black folks coming in to do the hard work. A lot of the white farmers leased the land or from the state or from other whites. But the black folks provided most of the labor in the sawmill.
Where did these black people come from? I know when you talk about blacks in South Florida, Miami and Fort Lauderdale, you talk about Flagler's Railroad and Flagler bringing in people from the Bahamas, and that's how blacks started, I know, in Miami. Now you're talking North Florida. Where did they come from?
Most of them came from Georgia,
Okay.
and some from the Carolinas, South Carolina in particular. And after the Civil War, keep in mind, Florida was basically untouched by the war.
Right.
So Georgia, South Carolina, Mississippi, those states were wiped out as a result of the battles that took place in those states. But Florida was essentially an untouched wilderness, even though it belonged to the Confederacy. So there was a lot of impetus for people to move to Florida after the Civil War, and Rosewood was just one of the other attractions that a lot of ex-Confederates had to move to that area, which is important because the white folks who were settling in Rosewood mainly came from Confederate descendants.
Okay. So now we know where Rosewood is. We know the population of Rosewood. What happened?
What happened in Rosewood?
Yes, what happened?
What really happened in Rosewood? I'm telling you, them city. This a little other one, you know. this is not the only one. There was so much community, right? About that, I said we had community then. People used to live good. But I'm gonna tell you, said this, it did tough, but we had love people. We did have genuine love. We did have article people. Humanity did vibrant back then. I'm gonna tell you, say, this is why them say nothing lasts forever, right? Because they make sure say when them say that at that them same time them a burn down the when them a burn down the city and a burn down the community thing, them say, see, nothing lasts forever. This is why we have to do this. Because it would have last forever. uh, as we proceed, people.
What happened in Rosewood?
Yes, what happened?
At the end of 1922, there was an incident involving a white woman named Fannie Taylor that led to this event. Now, 2 miles west of Rosewood is a small town called Sumner, and that's where the main sawmill was located.
Okay.
And Fannie Taylor and her husband lived in Sumner.
Okay, you see, this a woman, she have her husband. You see how far them there from this people. People. Also, you see how far them people live away from Rosewood. Them not have no reason to interact with them, And that me I say, don't stay over there, so we stay over here, so. We Ashanti them the same thing them do with the people. Them sign the treaty, them say, all right, don't stay over there, so we stay over here, so. Why don't need interaction so much? Destruction? People want to get to the top of this thing, because it seems like, say, there's a pattern here. As we proceed, people.
And Fannie Taylor and her husband lived in Sumner. Her husband worked in the sawmill. In fact, he had the job of being at the sawmill first because he let off the machinery so that when other workers got there, the machinery was all ready to go. Fannie Taylor had a boyfriend, a white man who worked on the railroad that ran between.
Jesus. So she have one a sawmill. And one a railroad. She have one a sawmill and she have one a railroad. As we proceed, people.
And Cedar Key, actually. Cedar Key is the town at the end of Highway 24 on the Gulf of Mexico. And Fannie Taylor's boyfriend would come in after her husband went to work at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
So bunting are going for a long time. Bunting are going. So we take it up and for we head now and say, oh, we want to be the best and the baddest. When it's been done. That's so passe. It's been done so many years ago. It's been done so many times ago. Before. I know I'm be the champion or something. Oh, I'm telling you, no follow fashion for real, people. Oh, it's so follow. We so follow fashion, eh? As we proceed, what I'm telling you, say, past, present, future, not change unless we change it. As we proceed.
Boyfriend would come in after her husband went to work at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, on the train, get off, visit with Fanny for a while before her husband came home for lunch. He'd get on in to see the kid and mind it and go about his business. Well, apparently one morning, Fanny Taylor and her boyfriend got into a fight, and he brutalized her. And Fanny had to have.
Of course, he beat the shit out of her. So obviously, say abuse are going from way back them times there. But this time, man, the husband I do at the side man I do it. You see how some people sick though. And I see how long sickness are going though. There is nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing, we just not change it. We not change it. We just make it happen continuously. As we proceed, people, with this lifestyle. This a lifestyle, yeah.
And Fanny had to have some explanation for her husband as to why she was beaten up. Essentially what she did was, after this man had left her, actually some 2 or 3 hours later, right before her husband was due home, she runs out into the yard screaming, "Oh, I've been attacked. I've been beaten. I was attacked." Folks come rushing in from all over. What happened? What happened? She said a black man attacked her. She didn't say he raped her.
God have mercy. Look now. This a black man, yeah. A big fidet. This a going at them people, yeah, town. Going after them town, go mess with them woman. I know the consequence. I know the consequence. And some man, quote unquote, some black man, I mean, decide if go against them life. As we proceed.
Well, what happened? What happened? She said a black man attacked her. She didn't say he raped her. White women were very hesitant to say that they were raped by black men. That would sort of mark them.
Right.
You hear that? That means that once interracial go on, them get kicked out of their culture. People then get kicked out of their culture. But I don't want to deal with them no more. Past, present, and future.
Said he attacked me. Within minutes, it became he raped me in the minds of the crowd that was them together. And this set off a chain of events that led to a massacre in 1923. In which
Remember no people. Remember no people. Nothing no go so, Remember no people. Nothing no go so, As we proceed.
was wiped out. Now, interestingly, there was a black woman named Sarah Carey. Sarah Carey did the washing for Fannie Taylor and her family. And Sarah Carey was at the house when this happened.
Oh.
And when the police came,
So we have a witness.
Yes.
Look on it. We have a witness, people. Listen, go on.
When the sheriff came to find out what happened, he turned to Miss Carey and asked her what happened. She said she didn't know.
You see? Jesus have mercy. This a woman that could have this a woman that could have tell the truth. But just cause she want boy. Jesus have mercy.
She had no idea what happened. She didn't get involved in it. But when she went those 2 miles back home to Rosewood, she told the black folks that Fannie Taylor had a boyfriend, a white boyfriend who beat her up. So the black folks in Rosewood knew what had happened. The white folks thought that a black man had raped this white woman. And now you had all these white men coming from all around, even from Georgia. Some of them came that far into Rosewood, looking for this man who had raped Fannie Taylor. There was a posse. They were particularly looking for this man who might have been an escaped fugitive from one of the local prison camps. And here comes this crowd down the railroad track to Rosewood looking for this man. And
Why make this a woman and not tell the people them say the woman a lie? Me not understand how that woman and not tell the woman says she a lie. The police then come there and the woman make the people them decide say some yo. Me not understand how comes the woman go back who I'm gonna tell the people them when the people them can't do nothing about the situation. You see? Jesus. Why this woman not tell? Me not understand why this woman not couldn't tell the people them yo, a lie she a tell. Oh people. Me not understand I don't understand why this woman never said nothing to the people them. And then when she go back to the black people, she tell the black people them. After the black people then can't help no situation.
And in the course of this search, they began to kill black people and to burn down this town.
Now, how long did this massacre last? Was it like a day, a 2 day thing?
Well, the mask itself took place in 1923, in January,
Right.
as the new year began. And it took place over the course of about a week or 10 days, by the time the worst of the killings and the burnings had taken place. But it was a Fannin Taylor incident that was based on a lie that led to the destruction of this town. I should mention, by the time this happened, almost all the white folks had left Rosewood. And Rosewood was essentially an all black town. There were
Yeah, and at that Matella said all the unity was. It wasn't a all black town. Them it have couple white families still living at the town. Again, the thing about it is, it's never all white people, but can have people will help out with the underground railroad. We talk about them things already. But the people them control the situation throughout. The majority of the people them. I can't understand how comes the lady not say nothing to the police when the police then come. I'm gonna tell you it's the same situation up to today, Jesus.
black town. There were a couple of white families still there. For example, J.W. Wright, Mr. Wright ran the local.
People just can't get over the woman not say nothing, right? When that look at it, the situation wouldn't be just the outcome would have been totally different. They would have to go look for that brother there. She can't deny it. But all that are the biggest part of the whole situation. That are the biggest part of the whole situation. Just the fact that she said, oh, she not see nothing, she not get involved. Same way to the society, people.
There were a couple of white families still there. For example, J.W. Wright, Mr. Wright ran the local general store. So he and his wife were still there. Once I began my own work in Rosewood, I found another home owned by whites that had survived this massacre. But essentially, at the time of the attack, Rosewood was a successful black town. A lot of black men worked in the slash pine industry. There were black men who had a lot of land that they put on the lease or they owned. So you had even more wealth and money in Rosewood than you did in Sumner, just 2 miles down the road, which was
Yeah. Because you see, given the opportunity, we're always progressive. Given the opportunity, we're always progressive. and we're always progressive when we get the opportunity to be successful. So obviously, Rosewood are gonna be better off than for them town. And that's why me I say just fish you go tell a lie pan somebody when we never involved in a nothing with for them town. That means that she must have some fantasy fi go on with fi say black man touch her. Cause all you da use a black man when you can't use anybody other. It just mind boggling sometimes, you know.
The road, which was essentially a white town.
And now, you mentioned a couple of white families living near Rosewood.
Yes.
It's my understanding that during the massacre, that several black people were saved by white families who sheltered them while they tried to make their way to the railroad. What was a railroad? An escape from Rosewood for blacks, or am I?
It was an escape for some blacks.
Mhm.
And you're quite right. One of the things I found out when I started going to Rosewood and talking to white people
Mhm.
whose descendants were there at the time
Right.
was their anger that that part of the story was not told. That there were white folks that did the right thing at
I
that
thought
moment.
so.
But there,
Yes, cause some of them did live in a Rosewood. There's like not all of them move out. Because me tell you say if you don't have evil thoughts or evil hearts, right? You can't live amongst anybody. And when you have evil mind or evil thoughts, that how you have to separate. Because if me not do nothing, do you nothing and you not do me nothing. Where we have to live a certain way. So the people them will move out are the people them with the evil thoughts and the evil hearts and go live in that for them city. And you see the whole of them, sure, as we continue people.
the right thing at
I
that
thought
moment.
so.
But there, it got hurt. For example, the men who owned the train that went from Gainesville to Cedar Key
Right.
were the Bryce brothers, two white men. But there were others who helped. Mr. Wright, for example, who ran that general store, allowed black women and children to hide in his house during the course of this attack. And the Bryce brothers had to sneak a train in at night.
Mhm.
And they loaded up these women and children, no black boys over 13, and they had them sort of secretly taken out of Rosewood. And a
Now,
lot of blacks were saved because of what Mr. Bryce.
Now, how many people were killed in Rosewood?
Well, that's open to some controversy. There's even
And them always like the number upon the massacre them, you know. Them always say, well, you know, it's less. It's not as much or as bad as you think it was. But it's always worse because if a two people them backs up for no reason, it's too much. As we proceed, people.
a mass grave in Rosewood.
I've heard about that.
I was not able to establish this as a fact, but there is a view that there was an attempt to cover up the actual number of victims. I'm not quite sure, but I think that there were at least documented 8 blacks who were killed, possibly more that we know of. But the answer will never be known because once the attack happened, people scattered. Families got disconnected and never reconnected.
Okay.
It was as if someone came in the middle of the night and attacked your house, set it on fire, and you ran away with what possessions you had, which is just what you were wearing, and never went back. So where your cousins went, where your aunt went, some folks ran to Georgia, some folks ran south. A lot of them came to West Palm Beach.
Every man for themselves.
Now, that has puzzled me for years because as I read the history of Rosewood, including yours, which is probably the most documented history, I find that after the massacre, all of the black residents left. Is that right?
Everybody left.
And did not return.
There are no black people living in Rosewood today.
Why would black people not? They left their properties. Okay, of course, the homes are being burned. 8 people are dead. You would leave and not go back after almost 100 years?
They felt that they had to leave. That was a sense that if they did go back, that the anger, resentment was still vibrant in that community.
But most of the community was black.
Well,
but me tell you, say, when the fight start, everybody scatter. Me not understand. Well, like that. Go back to what? What are you going back to? Because if you no did it and you no team up and fight, right? Everybody run gone. Everybody for themselves. I don't understand why you going back for. What's the purpose? Me not understand. Why would you wanna go back? First of all, the woman we could have saved the whole situation. When she said she could have said this woman a lie. All she had to do was say the woman a lie. She go back a Rosewood, go tell them people them a Rosewood say a lie the woman a tell. So when the mob don't eat up and everything, how you gonna stop the mob? Jeez though, man. All the woman did have to do is just tell the truth, say the woman a lie. The woman boyfriend beat her up. What make you me not understand that the situation there?
The community was black.
well, but see, Sumner wasn't black. Levy County wasn't black.
Okay.
Rosewood was a black enclave surrounded by a white, larger,
okay. A
and
larger white community.
exactly. The other thing is that once these people left, a lot of them lost their land to not paying taxes.
Well, that's another issue.
And white folks bought the land from the county for next to nothing. So
Next to nothing, which means free. So you see, them did want the them did want the land, right? So them tell lie pam, and I'ma tell you say justice a woman ya, this one woman make everything so bad because this a woman could have tell the police them say, look, this woman a lie. Why go back to Rosewood and tell them people that we can't do nothing about it when she have the police there? I can't understand that they know.
Issue.
and white folks bought the land from the county for next to nothing. So if you tried to go back a year or two later, your house had been bought by Mr. So-and-so and Mr. such and such, and you no longer had claim to your properties. One of the land things that I learned once I started going to Rosewood, and the people who were willing to help me took me around, was that these black folks had possessions that were valuable. They had ordered stuff through Sears and Roebuck, had been brought in by mule train and what have you, and their stuff was scavenged. And people came in and just took the stuff.
Yeah.
And
Then I know past, present, and future, nothing change unless we change it. So then thief out with them having other people them house. Well, I'm gonna tell you, sometimes I watch a Rosewood movie and I see from all the people them think we have the same mentality now, you know. The man say, oh, them have piano. And the man say, what you do with piano? You can't even play a piano. The same way we get treated, or the same way we get treated today. And good thing is, we treat each other the same way now. And them used to treat us that way there. Past, present, future, the same. It now go change unless we change it.
they just took the stuff
Yeah.
and took it to their house. So your possessions were gone. Your house was every black-owned home was burned down. So there was not a whole lot to go back to.
So are you saying that blacks did not retaliate? I mean, your home has been burned. Your cousin was
The
killed.
man said nobody not go back.
There's
Sure.
no record of blacks going back doing anything
Well,
to any of the whites.
let's clarify that record. There was, I wouldn't say retaliation, but there
Okay.
was resistance during the course of the attack.
Mhm.
And it was led, frankly, by black Masons.
Okay.
Now, most of the black men in Rosewood were Masons. The main character that they ended up looking for, they thought was the person who either did this or who knew of the man who did do it, was named Sylvester Carrier. Sylvester Carrier was a World War I veteran. He was a sharpshooter. He knew how to use a weapon, as did a lot of black men who come out of the war in 1923. And as I said, the Masons were the largest organization in Rosewood. In fact, the largest building in Rosewood was the Masonic Lodge. So as these white folks started trying to track down who did it.
So when I say the masonry come from way back, we are the masonry from way back. Seen? We in the masonry from way back skill. We are skilled people from. Yo, it's profound. Say them have masonry, them have them the Masonic temple and all of them things they set up. Sure, as we proceed. And this a man a married and have him wife and pitney, and them a think say him him would be the one who supposedly did something that never happened. Eh? Or him know the person will do it. Now why would this a man be associated with somebody where it would have do something like that? Even though it never happened. It never happened.
And they became concerned that Sylvester Carrier, who was considered to be an uppity nigga, because he didn't work for white folks. He taught piano. He would leave town to go on first.
So, wait back. Would you define for those who may not know what an uppity nigga is?
Yeah.
I mean, some people may not know what an uppity nigga is.
One who did
Defiant, a person will have them own, a person will have them own task, them own business. Yeah, that's pretty much an independent. This is what they call an independent person, right? You know how them speak and how them think.
place.
Okay.
One that the white folks didn't always know where he was or what he did or where his money came from.
Okay.
Plus, he had an attitude.
A nigga with an attitude.
It was a nigga with an attitude. And when the word got around that they were looking for him, Sylvester gathered his family to a very nice house that he and his mother and his dad and his wife lived in, two-story home. He gathered his family, including some of his.
See, it's nice 2-story home the man live in. That's not good. That's not good. You're not supposed to live in that. You're not. Jesus.
At his house and said, well, then come get us. And when the white folk heard that Sylvester had made this kind of strong statement, they focused their attention on the Carrier home.
Okay.
And they attacked the Carrier home. Now, the first two white men, mind you now, this was in the wintertime, very, very cold. These white men come into Rosewood, they build a fire on the railroad track, and now Masons are gathering at the Carrier home because when one Mason is under attack, other Masons came. And we'll never know how many Masons were around that house in the woods waiting on this white assault, but there were many. The first two white men who stepped on the Miss Carrier's porch to demand that Sylvester come out, Sylvester shot them. Now, mind you, they were armed men who came. Let me back up a second. The first person who was killed in the Rosewood massacre was Sarah Carrier, Sylvester's mom.
The mother.
Right. This mob gathered around her house, demanding that her son come out. She went to the window. Back in those days, people would prop the window right with the stick.
So even if them a go for the man, them backs up the woman. Even if them a go for the man, them. So trust me, there's no partiality to nobody. Everybody I get it. And I the same thing today, people. And then go for one person, everybody I get I wonder where we get them something here from. Eh? Mother, father, dog, puss, cat, are them things that them people are used to do. But now we are do it to ourselves. Wow. As we proceed, people.
To the window. Back in those days, people would prop the window
Right,
up
with the stick. We used to do it.
So she takes the stick to prop the window up, and maybe somebody thought she had a gun. They shot her straight through the head, and she fell dead. So Sylvester's mom is laying there dead, and now here comes the first two white men to try to come into the house, and Sylvester shot him dead on his front porch.
Okay, question. It's always puzzled me that when you talk about Rosewood, you and other people who've written about Rosewood, you always talk about these white men and their assault of the home. What happened to the Klan? Because usually you would expect that in a situation like this, they will come with.
What happened to the Klan? Yo, what does that me not understand? Them people are a clan. They might now, no sheet on them face, but them have clan clan activity. Them are come for somebody where them not know. Cause again, it never happened. So them are come for somebody where them can't find, but them are look for find somebody. So what's the difference between them and the clan? Oh yeah, the sheet over them face. That's the only difference. People me telling you say, full existence did rough, How we did live before, we did barely, barely I live. And it not really changed much, Because the thing about it is all of the things that were used to happen to we outside, it happen to we inside. Wow. This is why the future I gonna be exactly like it is because we not study nothing. We not look into nothing. We not learn from nothing. We just I do this CMO as we proceed, people.
Because usually you would expect that in a situation like this, they will come with the hoods, the Klan.
No. There was no reason why hoods. These white men had no reason to hide their identities. They were proud to be a part of this.
But the point is, we're talking about the 1920s, right?
Yes.
Middle 20s.
As if it's not bad enough, them people are come with gun or all kind of sitting. This a man still a ask for more clans. Like, me not understand how you're fascinated with the clan them, so mister. I'm just saying, these people have so much to worry about, other than more pressure from the clan.
Wasn't the Klan running rapid all over the place?
It was. It was.
Did they not have a chapter of the Klan?
They did. As a matter of fact, there was a Klan meeting not that far away from Levy County at the time.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why so many white men gathered so quickly.
Okay.
But it was not the traditional stereotype of the
Klan
putting
marching
on robes and riding in the rosewood. In those days, you could assault and kill black people without having to necessarily hide your identity, particularly when the charge was a black man raped a white woman.
Exactly.
And many of the white men who participated in this were proud to be a part of the posse, proud to be a part of the resistance to what they thought was an attack on a white woman. So,
People, remember said this had never happened, This woman have two man, right? She have her husband and she have her side man. Side man beat her up. She tell them say one black man do it. The black lady were dead it, we see everything will happen. She say she not see nothing. And then go back, go tell the man them a Rose would say, yes, she see it. Me not at that mind boggling, because that situation that changed everything. And again, it's the same situation now. Nobody never see nothing happen. But everybody know what I go on. Boy, wow, wow.
So uh, here, Mrs. Carey is dead. Sylvester's now resisting, and he has help with these Masons who were in the woods around his house. And they ran the white folks away in that first attack. They go back and gather up their new ammunition, come back in strong numbers, and they burn the house down. And several of Sylvester's relatives, including several children, were upstairs at the time. And during the break in the attack, they were able to sneak out and run into the woods and hide. Remind you again, it was one of the coldest winters on record in Rosewood. So they had these children, bleeding children, in the woods with nothing but their bedclothes on. Mr. Wright, who I mentioned earlier, the white man who ran the general store, would allow them during the nighttime to come into his house. His wife would cook up a pot of cod greens or something to feed them. And in the daytime, they'd get out of the house because somebody might see them. And he allowed the children to be hidden in his well in his front yard. I have a photograph of it.
Okay.
And the adults had to spread out into the
Speaking
woods.
of children, I know you interviewed one of those children, right?
Yes, yes.
Who was 2 years old at the time.
No, she was 8.
And she was 8. Tell us a little bit about her and what she remembers and how you put it all together.
Robbie Morton, who's dead now, was 8 years old when this happened. She was in the 2nd grade. I found out about her by reading an article in the Palm Beach newspaper. And I learned that she was living in Riviera Beach in a senior citizen facility. And the reporter told me her address, her phone number, and I called her. She said I could come up and meet her. Mind you, now she was in the 90s when I made first contact with her. Living alone, her husband had been dead for many years. And Mrs. Morton, who had not been back to Rosewood since it happened, except one time when they put a historic marker of the event on Highway 24. But she told me, Dr. Dunn, I never stepped off that highway. I went for the ceremony. I went back to River Beach. But she allowed me to take her to Rosewood twice. I would pick her up in the morning. We would drive to Rosewood. Never stopped for a bathroom break. I said, Mr. Morton, what you want to do? Oh, no, son, drive on. And once we got out there, she showed me where everything was that she remembered it. Because we could walk down the old railroad track. Even though the rails have been removed, the railroad bed itself still ran right through the community like a green tunnel. So by walking down that railroad track with her, she could say the Baptist church was here, the Methodist church was over here, the Masonic Lodge was here.
All right, so she lived there when she had 8 years old and she remember everything. And at that, I try to show you our memory, how we no exercise with memory. To remember what's important. But just go through life and remember me. I'm tell you, say, it's not something that's normal. Cause them people can remember so much of them history, them story, how they remember it. I tell you, say, all of them things that it's so important. It's so important for we remember them things here. As we proceed, people.
Miss Carrier's house is up here. So she showed me places that no one else would have known where these places were, except Mrs. Morton.
Now, she was the last living descendant, is that right? Everybody's dead.
There was another lady who was 2 years old at the time. She had no memory of the event. This lady lived in Jacksonville.
Okay, she was 2. That's different. As soon as I come, the one say, "Oh, does she?" No, so because she was younger, she's a year. She had 8 years old, so obviously she could remember as a bigger kid than the little 2 year old, which was a baby, and she don't really remember what did that go on. She just, and just I tell her to stay quiet. Nobody not go back. As we proceed, people.
This lady lived in Jacksonville. She's not passed on to. But Robin Martin was the last person with a living memory of Rosewood who allowed me to take her there twice and to walk through that. I took her to the graveyard, to the cemetery, the colored cemetery, where her mother was buried. She had never gone since she was a child to her mother's grave.
What was her emotional reaction to that?
You know, I didn't really perceive a great deal of emotion.
Not even a tear?
No, she never cried, but she was angry. She was still angry because of the loss of her family, her property. But no, she sat in a chair. I had a folding chair that I took with us, two of them, in fact. And we sat in that graveyard and talked. But no, not sorrow, but anger at her loss.
I know you said that she directed you to a number of different important locations.
Yeah.
And I know you dug up some artifacts. Did you dig where she directed you to dig? And did you find anything of note from the areas that she pointed out?
Well,
or did you find artifacts on your own without following?
All of the above. I was able to get 3 grants from the state of Florida to do research in Rosewood on trying to recover artifacts and to establish where things were. Mm-hmm. So through the course of that grant, I was able to hire archaeologists who then, and graduate students from the University of Florida, who actually, with all kinds of current technical equipment, were able to identify property lines and what have you. But they could only do this from photographs. There had been no on the ground going through the community, locating actual places where things happen until I started to do that in 1997.
Now, if the state of Florida funded 3 grants, what interest does the state of Florida have in this? Are you implying that the state of Florida has a further interest in what really happened in Rosewood, maybe restructuring some of the
yes, they did.
Lifestyle.
They did. The state was interested in having as much of the history documented as possible. The problem was getting into Rosewood and getting somebody to talk to you.
Okay.
Because now Rosewood is an all-white town.
Let me stop you right there.
In 2018.
Yeah. See? People then run out the people them and take it over, turn it back in a for them town. And that then they do want all along, yes. So this a woman that tell a lie, right? That the black woman they not tell the police nothing. Cause you know informer they get boxed up. Me no know how comes the woman not tell the police them say, look, this woman is lying. And that started. Because when she go back a Rose will go tell the man them. And them the people that done go get the go ahead from the police, pretty much. You know, go have no conversation with them and then come with them gun and then same thing. First thing then do a box up the woman, the man mother. So how you go talk to a mob when you could have talked to the police from before? Tragedy, tragedy, tragedy. As we proceed, people.
Let me stop you right there.
All right.
Here you are. Blacks left Rosewood in 1923. Nobody's returned to their property. Apparently everybody's intimidated, scared, whatever you want to call it. Here comes Dr. Marvin Dunn, rolling up in Rosewood in his car, alone, am I right?
Yes.
Alone.
The first trip, yeah.
Alone. How did the whites accept you?
Well, the first time they
didn't
know I was there. And mind you, Rosewood is a very small town. It's not like there's a town folk can see you. You're on Highway 24. If you blink, you'll miss Rosewood.
Okay.
And to find out where the people lived and where the buildings were, you have to turn off Highway 24 and go down into these little side roads.
Right. Down into the woods.
Into the woods. It's like
by yourself.
by myself.
I want to make sure that you're by yourself.
Okay, by myself the first time.
This someone here, this someone, this someone I say, there's no way I would go there by my. There is absolutely no way would I go there by myself. You mad? As we proceed, people.
And the only way that I knew to turn off Highway 24 is because there's a forestry ranger tower there. And then there's a side road, so I could sort of mark, I just turned here. And I turned off and drove down about a quarter of a mile, and the road entered the cul-de-sac. This is a dirt road now. Most roads all the roads in Rosewood are dirt roads, clay roads. So I got out of my car, it was late in the day, it was starting to rain, and I'm looking around this cul-de-sac, and I see this green tunnel through the woods. And I said, what the hell is that? It turns out it was the old railroad track. As I said, the rails have been taken up when they moved the timber industry to Coochie, but the railroad bed was still there. So I started walking down this railroad bed, and the farther I walked, the more intrigued I became about what this was. And I came upon the cemetery. I looked over in the woods and I saw one headstone. So I go over it and I find the cemetery, the colored cemetery, all grown up. The only tombstone that I could recognize was one belonging to Mr. Goins, who was the black patriarch of Rosewood, who was the one who owned the most land and had the most prominence in Rosewood. So I found
So then Bill Fame tombstone for last. That are the only one who stand out of every one of them. Eh? Isn't that ironic? As we proceed, people.
tomb and realized that this is a graveyard. And by that time, it was getting dark. It was starting to rain. And I realized, I need to get my ass out of here.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So I rushed back to my car.
You wouldn't even go if you had bought that, but that's what I'm thinking. I know you wouldn't even go. Me wouldn't even go. That never sound like something would I go by myself. You crazy? For what? Me just say if me I go there, so it have to be like a group away. Me not go by myself. And this I want to say go them by himself. Just show him bravery, Jano. As we proceed, people.
I was intrigued by what I'd seen. Realized that once I left that road, that cul-de-sac, I was trespassing on people's property, going down that railroad track, but no one saw me. In subsequent visits, I usually had somebody with me, a student, a graduate student, or someone who was working with me. And then people realized that I was out there because my car was a 350Z Nissan, very visible automobile. So when I was in town, they knew that I was in there. So I
What
became more
was your
conscious.
first contact with any of the white residents?
The police.
What happened?
I went to the sheriff of Levy County and told him that I was in Rosewood. I was doing research out there, and the man gave me his personal number. Now, a lot of white folks in Rosewood were very sensitive and friendly, even, including some leadership of the Levy County.
They're very sensitive, but they're very friendly. I don't know about that enough. Sensitive and friendly? Can you be sensitive and friendly? I think so. If you're sensitive, you're probably touchy, because everything when I ask them then question you on some touchy topic, I know things what I really would I want to talk about. The one them we actually know we really go down. Sure. As we proceed, people.
Commission and the county manager were helpful. Those folks were the minority, but I must say, when I went to Rosewood, as I had done to other
the minority. What I mean is just minute amount of people out of all of them. Because minority, them don't consider we the minority, right? And there's no black people in Rosewood left.
places where riots and lynchings had taken place, I go to the sheriff's office first to let them know I'm here and I just want y'all to know I'm in town. And normally the response was we'll, if you need help, call us and we'll come.
I'm interested in I'm interested in how you got so involved, because not only did you go and do research, you purchased property in Rosewood.
Yeah, about 5 acres.
Your own personal property. Now, what drove you to that extent? After doing the research, after knowing the history, you've written about it, you documented it, then you go and buy property in Rosewood. Why? For what?
Well, let me clarify that part. I and a white partner bought that land.
Okay.
I got a white guy who was sort of the front person for the purchase of that land.
Jesus. Him couldn't even buy it. Him have to have somebody going to go buy it. That crazy. So even time they run after people, them off of the land. And them must sell it back. Then I sell it back to we. As we proceed.
We bought all the land now in Rosewood is divided into 5-acre segments. You can't buy a small lot. You buy land by 5-acre divisions. So we purchased 5 acres of land that the railroad track ran through, the green tunnel I mentioned.
Right.
And the land that we bought was right on the border of the railroad depot, which is where the folks who were saved had left Mr. Wright's house and went to the depot to be transported out of Rosewood. Why did we do that? Why did I press to do that? I realized that the land in Rosewood is now like a bedroom community for Gainesville. So you have prominent white folks buying up these 5-acre sites, putting very nice homes on them. Many of them don't really know what happened in Rosewood. So if any part of that community was going to be kept as it was, I thought, and my partner thought, that we would buy these 5 acres that had that railroad track running through it, close to the railroad depot, and preserve it for history. And the intent was simply to make sure that it never changed. So that was the impetus. And then I met the owner of the land, the 5 acres, where the Masonic Lodge was located.
Okay.
And some other neighbors. I was out there one Saturday. I was pulling my car off the road into the woods, so it was not so easily seen. And I was out there one Saturday, and this white guy in a pickup truck with a gun rack in the back, with a gun in the gun rack, pulled over and yelled out at me, "What you doing out there?"
No, that sounds friendly. Hey, how you doing? That sounds friendly. So kind of sound like how we talk to each other. Again, past, present, and future. Wow. As we proceed, people.
And I said, "Well, I own this land." He said, "You own this property?" I said, "Well, yes, I do." I didn't mention there was another white guy owned it with me. He said, "Well, we take care of our neighbors out here. Come by the house tomorrow. I'm having some folks over, and you can meet some of the folks who have property around here." Which I did the next Saturday. I go over
That brother, you're too brave, you know. The man say, which I did. This is Dr. Marvin Dunn. He's a black historian. He's got lots of titles. But him also got braveness beside when I'm title them too, cause trust me. As we proceed, people.
They were typical rednecks. Imagine with the caps to this. That's what these guys were. Invited me to the house. They were cooking whatever it was they were fixing that day. I get there at 11 o'clock. They were 3 sheets to the wind when I got there. They've been drinking this.
3 sheets of the wind.
So I get there, and first guy introduces me to his friends, and that's when they started saying the story was not accurate as far as the white folks part. They'd say black people concerned. The Rosewood movie had come out, and they felt that the movie didn't portray the white folks properly. Okay. And people think that we're all racist. We don't like black people. He said, "That's not us." He said, "We're Christian people." He said, "If you're Jesus Christ, if you like Jesus Christ, you're okay with us." Do you like Jesus Christ?
Amen.
Amen.
You all right with Jesus? You okay with us? I wasn't a Christian at that moment. I was a convert. So that encounter led me to meet other whites who were curious enough to know what happened on their properties, or who were humane enough to want to add to the story by allowing me and these other researchers to come onto the land. And we started digging and finding all kinds of things.
Such as?
Well, the only intact thing that we found that was exactly as it was before was this jug. Very typical of the period. A lot of
I don't want to be presumptuous, but would this be a moonshine jug?
it might.
I mean,
Exactly what the only thing we survive at the moonshine jug to box foot. Can't make this up, and if you did, padded room I wait for you. The only thing we survive at the moonshine jug, where they make out a clear. As I tell you, center, you make clear properly, trust me, them last. I want good thing, clear pattern, them stuff there. As we proceed, people.
that comes to mind.
I did check it out.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It was full of sand when we found it. But this is very typical of what people. Our grandmother Cora had this kind of. Our grandmother had this kind of stuff in her house. We found a lot of pieces of old railroad spikes like this. See this?
Okay.
Broken off. A lot of the look at this. This is very typical of the period. Very thick glass, probably some sort of kitchen piece.
What might this be?
It's just a rock. But look at the burn marks on it. Almost all of the artifacts we found.
I heard it's.
Yeah, people. Them burn down the place to the ground. Right? The people them burn down everything. Destroy everything. Then take everything where them want take. Because the people them, until say for them town Rosewood did, the people them were black people them was more educated, formally, own them own business and them things. And they do good. They're doing good by themselves. They never need no interference from nobody. But again, one white lie and one black lie, because the woman should have said a lie she a tell. Me can't get over that the same thing that they right there, so just turn everything upside down. What would happen if she just tell the police the woman a lie, she have 2 man? I wonder if she never tell it because she didn't want to keep the job. That puzzle me right there, so because they say one lie over there, so, and then one lie over here, so, and the consequences of the old rosewood get burned down, how much life get tossed upside down. Just make me have to wonder, people. As we proceed.
The stone artifacts, you can tell that they had been subjected to a fire.
Subjected to a fire.
So a lot of these pieces show.
People, them burn down the place. The man say, and you can tell it's subjected to a fire. Only a doctor could have said something like that. When me say, Lord, that burn down, that burn up, that burn right up.
So that belt buckle there, which some sort of a device that was, I'm sure, it may have been used on a horse, some sort of equipment to handle a horse or a cow.
Typically, when you dig in Florida and most other places, you will find artifacts from Indian settlements. Did you find anything like that?
We did not, but some of the residents showed me things that had come from Native American populations that lived in that area 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. I was not interested in that. There's a lot of material like that in Florida. But my focus is trying to find stuff for Black folks.
Yeah, and why would
who
you
abandoned-
why would you be interested in Indian artifacts when the man actually do African artifact or African American artifact? As we proceed, people.
had left. As I said earlier, it's like you get run out of your house in the middle of the night, nothing but your clothes on, and someone comes by 90 years later and they see what's left, and you find all these artifacts that have been subject to fire.
Okay, question. You got 8 people dead, homes burned, people leaving. What was the police department doing? What was law enforcement, if any, doing? What role did they play?
They were complicit. When the first Black man was lynched, a deputy police officer, a constable from the Beaver County Sheriff's Department, was present. He was on scene. Later on, he reported, I didn't get this into my research, I relied upon this from other sources. I think it's pretty reliable. But when he was asked, what did you do to stop it? He said, I was looking the other way. Literally, he said, I was looking the other way when this first Black man, Aaron Carr, let me not get the name wrong, but when the first Black person was lynched.
People hear what the policeman say? The policeman say, I was looking the other way. Because how much people then kill, them box up? And how much, okay, all right. Again, the woman lie. This never happened. Right? And then done box up one person already. How much people totally them end up box up? 8 people. Right? So what was it about? What was it about? If we don't get one person and we say, okay, fine, this person did this. Why the other 7 person? Why continuously do what we not do? Just because we don't want the land. We have to run after people then because we really want the land for a long time. Yeah, people. I'm telling you, true story, True story. As we proceed, people.
But when the first Black person was lynched, the deputy on site looked the other way. That was part of the reason why the state of Florida eventually made money available to the descendants of Rosewood, because the state had not acted responsibly in protecting the community, documented by how this deputy responded when this crisis was going on.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the state of Florida and what it will do.
Well, it sounds something like George Floyd. I mean, I say exactly like George Floyd, but it sounds something so much like George Floyd. Eh? And then them pay one little money. Out of nothing, Out of nothing. It never happened. It never happened. And the man them burn down the whole of the city, run out the people them. As we proceed, people.
For descendants of Rosewood, because when the state of Florida made that decision, I was the dean at Miami-Dade,
Early 1990s.
right? And when I got word of that, I looked for descendants of Rosewood because of the funds that were going to be provided. Can you tell us anything about how that decision was made and what exactly will the state fund a descendant?
Well, it came to be a reality because a newspaper, St. Petersburg Times, and a reporter started digging into the Rosewood story, and it became a known fact that this had happened. What the state did ultimately, I think 1994, was to pass a law that made funds available to people who could prove that they were descendants of Rosewood. Mm-hmm. Not that there were that many,
right?
Obviously not.
So money could be made available. I think the most that anyone could get was $50,000. Any one family could get. Mrs. Morton was one of 3 or 4 families that got that much. But the average amount of money that each descendant's family got was just a few $100s. Not all that much money made available. However, the state set up a scholarship fund for descendants of Rosewood who could prove that they were descendants, who could then attend college in Florida, without charge, tuition, and maybe 1 or 2 other things. But that was the response of the state to what happened.
The fear thing for do is just burn down the house that give up the people. People, I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm not giving the people $50,000. No, sir. I want care money that. I swear, bless. I want care money that. $50,000 I'm not give the people them. And the people them lose so much more. Jeez. Yes, I know some people are gonna say at least them get something. But them did have a lot more than something. Them have a community. Them have them business. Them have everything. Them have them life. Them have them family. Them have them future. And one lie. One white lie turn everything upside down. Past, present, and future. Wow. Sometimes people may tell us certain things that really hurt, you know. As we proceed.
The response of the state to what happened.
But how does the Rosewood story help us today?
Well, I tell you, over the span of history, including up to today, there have been incidents in which a white person has been in some way assaulted or damaged, and they point the finger to a black person. That is historically what has happened, and it still happens today. White men and women have done this. You got robbed. Who did it? A Negro did it. Black man did it. So pointing the finger at black folks is good.
Thank you, Shaggy. Thank you. Thank you very much, Shaggy. Shaggy, I thank you so much. It wasn't me. This is why Shaggy sang stuff. Okay, now me get it. Now you see how everything I tie back into everything else. Finally, time we start say I wasn't we, it wasn't we. Because right through history we get blamed for something where we not do. I think them have a youth a black youth are the same thing too. But them say him whistle off. Me go do that one day too. Me go highlight that one day too. Chill man. Yeah, people. But me say no, we just do it to each other. No, we just do it to each other. Holy crap, people. Wow, I'm telling you, say, I did that for those just start to open up the book them and see what I go on. And them things that go on in the books, them people. As we proceed.
Well, they're still doing that shit. Even today, after all these years of being falsely accused of assaulting or in some way treating a white person, the fallback position is the black. That's
the
what
black
happened to
person.
Okay, it's the same thing. Remember the late them they have the brother in the park there where him did a him did take picture of the bird and the woman have our dog off of the lead. Yes, that recent. That my child show and I said there's the man in the park and the woman have the dog off of the leash. And the woman called police and I say I go do them story them. I go you see past, present and future. It happened in the past, it happened in the present, it will happen in the future. I don't think she get fired and all of them things, but no, I don't think she did have no lawsuit. So that's one of the things where we can do use for change certain things. The lawsuit them. So this are for the future, the next generation them. I don't have to fight in a court, policies, certain things, and them things that have to change how we are perceived in society. There's no laws that protect us. I'm saying, yeah. But again, right through history, you see how unbiased things always is for us. Education, people. Education, understanding certain things. It doesn't change until we change it. As we proceed, people.
The Grove Man incident. This is not what's happened in Grove Man, Florida, but this white woman had been in a relationship that was questionable with her own husband and others. She gets involved in this incident and she blames these black men for attacking her. So we need to learn even today that every time a white person says a black person did this to me, it's not necessarily true. The other thing that I think is relevant to today is you still have black people who own properties, who have certain material advantages over white folks. And that can sometimes be used against that person. Remember our own parents, our dad bought a new car, often a Cadillac. That nice blue 1959.
Yeah, first one, 1959.
And did not want to have white folks know that he owned that car.
Exactly.
So because of jealousies, because so many of the white folks know you got too much, then they're going to in some way try to take it from you or at least hold you in some negative light.
Yeah, mom actually caught the bus to work because she didn't want to drive the Cadillac.
And when the white lady brought her home, she had the car was parked across the street.
The car had to be moved.
And I guess the last thing that I think is relevant to Rosewood is hidden history, hidden Black history needs to be uncovered. The Rosewood story is not the only buried story of Black history that needs to be brought back to the fore. So it should stand as an example of the importance of uncovering even the most uncomfortable things that have happened to Black people.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So well said. So well said. And that's why I do them things here. This is why I bring up them people. This is why I highlight them stuff here. Because as you see, it not change. It doesn't change from past, still in the present, and it not changing in the future. Thank you so much, sir. As we proceed, people.
Uncovering even the most uncomfortable things that have happened to Blacks in this country. And not necessarily, I expect that a movie is going to be made about it, or that researchers like myself and others are going to go and try to uncover these stories. But that we all need to be looking for these hidden histories. A lot of black folks have things that happen in their families that have still not become known. A lot of folks in blacks in Florida have had brothers lynched, and even today are sitting on those stories and not making them known even among their own family members. So Rosewood stands as an example of uncomfortable history, uncomfortable black history that needs to be uncovered and made public.
How, in your opinion, how has and why has the white view changed over the years? The whites in Rosewood gave you such a wrong reception. There are no blacks in Rosewood, so they have whatever their view is today. I don't think was shaped by some relationship with blacks in their community because there are none.
Right.
So what has changed? It was almost 100 years ago, the burning, the massacre, and all of that, and now you drive in, and these current residents welcome you.
Well, first of all, you said it. There is no black people living there anymore. That's number one. And they can tolerate you once you come by, you drive by, and then you go about your business. And like say, you go come there, come live with your loud music and your dancing. Then get the land cheap, little or nothing. So why wouldn't they be happy and be hospitable now? That's my that's my guess. As we proceed, people.
These current residents welcome you.
Well,
Invite you
let
to
me
come
not,
in.
hold on, let me not
Am I
overstate
going too
that.
far?
You're going too far. Some of them did. Mr. Thompson did. Mr. Thompson's property is next to our property.
Mhm.
And I can mention it because he's mentioned in the literature.
Okay.
It's being one of the most staunchly resistant white folks to what happened. Mr. Thompson's yard was the first white yard I drove up into when I got to Rosewood and started trying to find out what had happened. I drive up to his yard. He's sitting there on his porch, spitting snuff into the yard. Wouldn't tell me anything. Where was the black cemetery? I don't know. Where were the black homes? Nothing from him. And he was a descendant of one of the most resistant white families to what was going on in Rosewood. So to be fair and accurate, most white folks either don't know what happened in any detail, don't care what happened, and a lot of them are afraid that if they do it becomes known that they own Rosewood property, that the black folks will come back and try to take it.
So that means they know it's not theirs. You understand? Them know say enough for them own, you know. So them no want answer too much question when people can ask. Not nothing. So now them find out say, oh, you just a reporter. All right, come on in. How about a lemonade? You want some homemade biscuit? People, this is our story. And we need to share it. We need to find more stories like these. We need to educate the little pitney them want to come up. And that them used to do for we, you know. That's why I find them things here. And I highlight them. And I try to make them interesting for we listen to because they are. As we proceed, people.
Rosewood property, that the black folks will come back and try to take it. That's been the main reason for white folks not letting this story in Rosewood become this.
You see? The main reason. The main reason. Sure. As we proceed, people.
It needs to be the fear that the black descendants will come back and try to take their properties. But
that's why I asked the question, what drives you?
Okay, and that's what I'm tell you. You see, How comes Trump now kick out them people and give what? How comes Trump now kick out the people them off of this property when the people them don't know say the property no belong to them? You hear the man said that's the main reason. You know, want let in nobody, they don't really want nobody know what go on. Remember said them did bury it under the rug, you know. And a news reporter start dig. That's why I say it's up to us to find out what go on in our history, in our story. Boy, I'm telling you, say them things are deep, you know. Wow. As we proceed, people.
I ask the question, what drives you to go to that extent? I mean, you've written about it, you research. Other people can pick it up from here, but you continue to press on in rosewood.
Because if you don't actually walk on the land where things happen, you've got to deal with history from afar, from what other folks write about it. But you don't have the opportunity to walk on the property where your own descendants, your own great grandparents worked on these plantations, on these sharecrop farms, and particularly graveyards. I am attracted to cemeteries. I want to walk on the land where these things happen, which I think gives you a certain legitimacy to then write about them. Plus, I get a certain feeling being on the land. When I go to the,
You see, I the same thing I feel anytime I read about them people, are true people. I tell you, from start read about them people and just listen to them at daytime. It's just coming like say them not dead to blouse and skirt. Because these people are so amazing and we part of them too, you know. And we are the one that deny our greatness. I tell you, say from start read about them people, man. It's just like wow. And this is when you know we no talk about this or when them know want we. I guarantee you this a channel that soon shut down to backside. But they shut down one and we build another one. People be tell us them really I love what go on because guess what? This is us. This is really us. I feel so warm anytime I hear about them people. As we proceed, people.
grave of a black person who was lynched, and I've been to many such graves. When I approach a grave that's been of a lynching victim, I have an emotional response to that. It touches my heart. Willie James Howard, that 50-year-old black boy who was lynched in North Florida back in 19.
For the Lebanon.
Yeah. I have been to Willie James's grave, I don't know, half a dozen times. And each time I'm on that property, I have an emotional response. And then I think, Ray, a certain sense of obligation. When I went to Rosewood Cemetery, the first time I went out to the cemetery and realized that no one had been out there since 1923, there's an obligation to open up these sites so that other people, descendants, researchers, people just interested in these things can come and walk on the land.
So should young people today, this generation, what would you say to them about going and visiting places like Rosewood and other places that you might mention?
Well, I wouldn't suggest them going to Rosewood.
I'm gonna tell you, if you start got too much, I will start got visit Rosewood. The people I'm gonna say, wait a minute. Then people are come for the land back again. We don't want on the back here. The man saying buy a piece of property, can get in touch with them and find out how can link up. But I say we can open up books and videos and them things there, right? This is why I say for some reason I get just drawn to this. I just get drawn to to this with ancestors. I'm tell you same time I did I burn myself, me did me think say me did I go hear voices. But this are the voice when people talk about the greats. Now me understand. Me overs a lot of it. That's why I'm so excited to share it with the people them. Because the people them have for them agenda, them a keep for them agenda. You see how pure foolishness are going. Not even one dedicated to not even an hour or something sensible. Just pure foolishness. I'm not telling you, so I can't do foolishness, but me say, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, foolishness, foolishness, foolishness. I need to cut it out, put some education out there so the little youth them can gravitate to it. That's why I said this is not for this generation or for the next generation, because this generation already have money. As we proceed.
Well, I wouldn't suggest them going to Rosewood. One thing, the only place that you can really go to and walk is our property. The 5 acres of land that I purchased out there.
Okay, so let's stop and talk about that, because it's my understanding that you have an idea about opening a museum or something like that on
Yes.
those acres. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, not on the 5 acres that we own, but on the 5 acres very close to it that held the Masonic Lodge.
Mhm.
One of the cooperative white families out there has been the family that owns the land where the Masonic Lodge was, which was, of course, burned down.
Presently
And this
own the
lady
land.
is willing to sell it.
He's willing to sell it, and now no one put up a museum. You know how much it gonna cost? Instead of him, okay, volunteer. I say, all right, we sell it cheap. That not go happen. The amount of destruction we then do forget that the land, they then forget it up free. For sure, homage to the people them where then wipe out in the first place. As we proceed, people.
I tried to get the state to buy it. There has been no interest by the state of Florida to purchase it. What they said to me is, it's too small a piece of land for the state to own, that it would be long-term maintenance if they did own it. And we don't buy little pieces of land like that. They will buy a whole.
Yeah, you hear all of the things what them say? Them done see the future already. Oh, it's gonna be long-term maintenance. You think so them people are not done have everything calculated from the moment you say something out of your mouth. The moment you say something out of your mouth, them people are done have something planned already. Them have all have 10 plan. Them never know which plan to pull out. Long-term maintenance. Why it have to be long-term when once you know buy it and put it in the hand of the people them for take care of it, then it's their duty to make sure that the museum run properly. It's a museum. It's gonna be making money. Once the tourists and souvenir and all of them things they start. And the same thing is about Jamaica. We need 3 or 4 museum in Jamaica where it can continuously make money. As we proceed, people, because so we don't have no sense, right? That's why we listen to smart people. Dr. Marvin Dunn and he can't done.
They don't buy little pieces of land like that. They will buy a whole park, but not a little 5 acre plot of land. So the state has not been interested in buying it. But I have found a private group of investors who have said that they will buy that land where the Sonic Lodge stood, and will help eventually to restore that land in some ways so that it become available for people to visit. The property that we own is not all that important historically. It's just 5 acres of railroad track and old farmland. but that Masonic Lodge was the center of that community. That's where the school was. That's where Mrs. Morton attended school in that building. So and she described it to me to a T, exactly how it looked.
And she described it to me to a T. Cause she just perky like that. Me I tell you, say the great people them, boy, me tell you, say them did nice. The people them did nice. Gone too soon. Them people, they all 150, them still gone too soon. As we proceed, people.
So and she described it to me to a T, exactly how it looked, where the rooms were, how they were used, even the outdoor toilets behind, the boys one and the adults one. So I have a good picture in my mind of what that building looked like and how it was used, and would love one day to see that Masonic Lodge restored, made into a kind of historic center where people could then drive off Highway 24, the same little cul-de-sac where I made my first visit, and then go up onto that property.
So I was interested to learn that Florida International University played a role in assisting with this whole effort.
Yes.
What role did the university play? And did you have to try and convince them to do this? Was it a hard sale, or was the university, once you introduced it to them, was the university very supportive in trying
I'm
to help?
glad you asked me that. The university was very helpful to me. The College of Arts and Sciences gave me grants that supported my early work in Rosewood. I did not have a lot of trouble getting, wasn't a whole lot of money,
Mhm.
but what we needed just to have the basic research move forward, FIU supported me in that effort. Beyond that, FIU now has the Dunn collection in the Green Library at FIU that has, these are just a few of the artifacts. Most of my stuff is out of FIU in that library. And a few years ago,
See, we will tell you, say, don't no belong to them. Everything what they have it belong to somebody. So even after they moved on the place, they still end up collecting it. They still end up with the scrap them in their library. No, sir. The one said this is not even out of his stuff. Boy. Boy, I'm going to tell you, say, yo. History is a sick joke for some weird reason, you know. History repeats itself if we not change it. All the stuff them when the man go dig up, them still end up in the library. Nobody no visit the place for how much 37 years or how long. And since him go there, everybody have interest in the place. That's why I say people are important, you know, is to everything, you know. Because if you no unprint not upon it, no unprint not upon it. If you not open the book not open. I tell you something, my eyes them open wider now. I get more knowledge. I see the irony of so many things, people. I'm telling you, say me did want more, and I get more, and I love more. Because there's so much other highlight more highlight. This is why I say me all start 2 o'clock in the morning. Because there's so much great work of ours. There's so much great work of ours just sitting there, just begging to be open up and highlight, talk about, share. Why not? It's already created. Our story is already created. All we have to do is just open up the book and share it. As we proceed, people.
did put on an exhibit They brought these materials out and made them visible to the public. And FIU will have those artifacts and other things that I've given them from now on to be made available to the public. So I give my university a great deal of credit for supporting my research and letting me do what I wanted to do. I was a psychologist. I had no business doing history. I was tenured in psychology. Once I got that tenure, I said, hey,
I do what the hell I want to do.
I want to. I want to do history. I'm doing history. And that's basically how my career at FIU evolved.
Okay, let's wrap this up with this question. What is your message to today's youth as it would refer to Rosewood or any other historical situation like Rosewood? What's the message for the youth of today?
You know, bro, youth today have resources, technical resources available to them that we didn't have. Google it, damn it. Google it. You want to know what happened in Rosewood, Ocoee, this place? Google it. And all of a sudden, you have all this information available to you. Ask questions, use the technology available to find out who people were, where they lived, and what happened. Google Ocoee. Google any of these places. Google the Groveland Fort. Google Harry T. Moore. That's a good one. Harry T. Moore, I know we're running out of time.
Right.
Was the most courageous black man, with the possible exception, well, I think the most courageous black man ever walked in Florida. Osceola may have been accepted, he was an Indian. But Google these people and find out who they were, what happened, and become knowledgeable about your history. It's not hard to do.
Do you see, for example, the need to somehow restructure the curriculum during Black History Month? And I know it shouldn't be a month. It should be.
Exactly. It shouldn't be a month. And so we're supposed to continuously, because when they roll around a month, people have so much things that do them not really care about the month. I said that about last month. There was so much happening, nobody not care about for a month. All them a talk about Trump this and Trump that and Trump. So this is why I say these are the things where I go highlight. There's so much I'm telling us people. It's like say me get swept away and me I get carried away because me I get so much of this good information. As we proceed.
Period. But how else might we get today's youth involved in, aware of parts of their history? And not just Blacks now. I'm not just talking about Blacks.
All right, I'm not telling if you do, telling the people if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and pay their membership at one time. And this is enough classroom. Can I tell you, this is not a classroom of just one thing. It's a classroom of everything. Has to do with us, has to do with society, has to do with other races, other culture, right? Other religion. We can't just be closed-minded when we have so much knowledge at our fingertip. All we have to do is open up the book. I open up my YouTube channel. I tell the people some I love this. And I know it's not gonna be no 100,000 follower, but at least I'm gonna buy a sauce as we proceed.
Looking up Rosewood. I'm talking about today's youth.
Well,
Period.
I think, Ray, that they should be shamed into doing it. They should be made to feel nothing short of pure shame for not caring enough to learn about your history, which will make you a better person. It's not a matter of making Black History Month more powerful or stretching it out over the whole year. It's a matter of having people realize that there is nothing but pure shame to take from being ignorant about your past. And
Yeah, that's it. You should be ashamed, say you don't know your history. I'd be proud enough if you want to find out about it, because I'm telling yourself when we start, it's like I just get captivated with all of the great scientists, the great this, the great that, and all of them and me, all of these people look just like me. All of them people that was in a tougher situation than me, and then make it out. I said these people get so much awards, name, statue, all kind of different accolades. So that, but me realize that many of these people, the reason why them don't want to highlight these people is because they don't measure up to these great people. So if me not measure up to a person, why me I go big you up for? And you not big me up? Yeah, that are the talk. After me not know you, yeah, that are the talk. People, I'm loving these chapters. Cause I'm tell you, say, pretty much every month is like a chapter in the 12, right? I'm gonna continue to highlight the great people, great moment them within our history, right? And that's what we're supposed to do, people. And that we're supposed to do, reach out to at least one person and say, yo, you alright? Everything good with you? I mean, I thought just say, hey, just listen. You hear me? I say the things that we used to do, we used to be so important to where we not do them no more. I know, like, so we can't do them, I mean, I go through bit by bit to see how it become this way. But some people will always be some people. And the like-minded people, them will always be the like-minded people, them. And the very fact say, you have to like yourself to be a like-minded person. When me look on some of them people and see how them people look, you can't tell say them people don't like themselves. Them not glow. And just have this despicable thing about them. People, so I did have this tomorrow I did one, well, later on I did, I say I want to do a marathon live, but the marathon live them is like 4 hours, 5 hours or something like that. But my brethren, I did want to bring on my brethren ticket again because you see the whole issue with the biggest small things and Tupac from a little bit. I talk about Major Worries are one of the best DJ them where when I grew up on, right? And then me hear Biggie Small. I talk about Biggie Smalls when time I go Windsor, me and my brethren. And we play the CD in the car and for 10 minutes after we drive, when the CD done and we not say nothing. We just sit down there and say, wow. And the man said to me, say, I was thinking the same thing. So when Biggie come out the rap game, I think say him was one of the best. Right? I like Tupac, I like again you can like everybody have their favorite, right? So right across the genre, there's different artists I like, but Biggie me say alright, Biggie am my rapper. And then enter me here say Biggie pass off and then it's like say to me it's like Chuck. I like one person in a reggae music. Wanna box him up. Like one person in the rap music. I wanna box him up. So alright then fine, yeah, so we're done with it. For real. But then to find out the whole plot about Biggie and Tupac, my brethren ticket um do one breakdown. So more do one reaction highlight with ticket. I broke down Biggie and the Tupac situation because that's a sad situation. Oh, the man them has so much talent and a person with no talent. Just me keep on saying about this Judas thing. how is Judas one of the most famous person in the Bible and in a life? Because there's no story without a Judas. One Judas, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 Judas. It just never ends. Why is that? A jealousy make Judas? So more listen to him brought down that video there. Because it's like say, for real, we're not supposed to have any absolutely nothing at all. We're not supposed to be associated to greatness. Not one iota. I don't know if that's gonna be the final realization when I go through all of them highlights here. But me just get that feeling there. You're supposed to have absolutely nothing and be happy with absolutely nothing, even though you can do so much more. It's a eerie feeling, people, isn't it? Well, people, I'm tell you something, I think a lot, you know. I talk about my insomnia already. uh, Anyways, people, thank you for stopping by. Thank you guys for showing up for the party. Thank you, AI. Always. I don't know, say AI not gonna way, right? Thank you for the like and the share, and thank you for the continuous subscription. Hopefully, one and two people will understand the madness from me I got you, you know. Because everybody have mental issue, and I guess me have more than everybody else. We don't know. Well, if everybody are clear more than more than everything else, we can claim at least something. Always more to come, people. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm telling you, so you can always comment, share, and subscribe. And I said 2 out of 3 is a win. Right, people? I'm out.